Why is it so hard to get good property advice? Sometimes it seems to me that nearly everybody in the property industry is just pushing their own barrow and they really don't have the consumer's interest at heart. Well, they might think they do, but they don't actually know enough to know that the advice that they're giving isn't that great. Take a look at YouTube. It's full of a new generation of property gurus who've worked it out, the secret system to property success. But these same systems are very similar to those that failed investors a decade ago. Same shit, different shovel. Memories are short and wishful thinking is always high. Oh, how we love the silver bullet. And then there's those experts that bought a few investment properties themselves, think, this is pretty cool. I've got this system worked out. My friends keep asking me for advice. I know I'm going to set myself up as an expert. I've got a system. I'm pretty clever. Now, that's all well and good, but do they know enough about the market in its entirety to properly be an expert? I'd hazard in most cases, no. And the thing here is that often they don't know how to benchmark their performance. They're often thinking that the volume of properties that they own is the marker of success. They may have lucked it and they may have created a clever little system, but an enthusiastic amateur is still an amateur. In this country, property advice is unregulated. You don't need qualifications to be a property investment advisor. Horrific, but true. Literally, you could have finished school in year 10, done no further education whatsoever, put a shingle on your door and start selling your investment advice. Now, as a consumer, that's alarming. Even more so because they probably don't have professional indemnity insurance, but that's a topic for another video. What about financial planners? Surely they must be able to give some property advice. But no, you see, property is not a financial product, which means that most advisors won't talk to their clients about property, and only a handful even truly understand what makes a good property for investment purposes. Many financial planners are actually biased against property as an investment vehicle. They call it a lumpy asset, and I'm not going to argue with that, it is. But to avoid including it in an overall plan is like ignoring superannuation. They're both hugely significant in an overall wealth strategy. But we've also got to remember that property messes with financial planners' fee models. You've got less money to invest elsewhere if you're tipping it all in the property bucket. And what about buyer's agents? Well, I am a buyer's agent, but I still don't believe that all buyer's agents give good property advice. You've got those investment specialists who claim to cover the entire country, but without that specialist local knowledge, they could be buying dud assets. And then you've got the local specialists who I'd always recommend you choose as a buyer's agent, but the problem with them is they only know their local area. And so, like anybody who's only got one tool, if that tool is a hammer, every problem's going to seem like a nail. So that's why it's quite difficult to get holistic property advice. Now, they're not all like that, but it is a tiny minority who are able to discuss property in the broader sense without trying to sell you their solution. And now, at least a buyer's agent does need to be qualified, but there is a problem with that. The licensing process means that they study a lot of things about becoming a sales agent and a property manager, but very few topics cover what they need to know in order to be a good buyer's agent. In fact, you can be qualified with none of the skills required to do the job. So that leaves sales agents. Why aren't sales agents the best people to get property advice from? Well, it's all about how they're remunerated. They are paid only if and when you sell a property. If you're a buyer, they're not paid to help you, they're paid to sell to you. It's not in the real estate agent's remit to worry about whether you're buying the right property for you or not. And if you're thinking of selling, well, they're incentivized to encourage you to sell and to sell now. They're not incentivized to advise you to wait if that's really the best advice, because if you do wait, you might never sell, they won't get paid, or there's the opportunity for another sales agent to get you in their clutches and they miss out on the listing. So you get why it's fraught asking a sales agent for advice. And the upshot of all this, we Australians are left to muddle along with our most expensive asset. It's just the fact of the matter. Now, I'm on a personal mission to help people make better property decisions, and I'm working on a number of programs that might help you. So if you'd like to know what I've been up to, check out my website, veronicamorgan.com.au, and see whether there's something there that might assist you to make better property decisions.